Madam Chair, before we get started, can I just go over a little order here? So we'll do number 2 first, and then if we can jump to number 4, and then to number 3, if that works for you, Madam Chair.
Do 2, then 4, then 3.
Correct.
Okay. So the informal settlement conference last.
Correct.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Welcome everybody to the special board meeting of the Arizona State Board of Pharmacy. Today is November 4th. My name is Lori Walmsley and I will be chairing the meeting today. Dr. Gandhi, can you please take the roll to establish a quorum?
Certainly. Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Solari,
At your service.
Mr. Dang,
Present.
Mr. Minkus,
Here.
Mr. Leyva,
Here.
Ms. Lehan,
Present.
Ms. Walmsley,
Here.
Mr. Tong,
Here.
Mr. Goodman is not present, Madam Chair. Ms. Nair.
Here.
All present, 1 absent.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gandhi. First item on the agenda is item 2I. This is the matter regarding Meredith Ann Colton, board case number 21-0504. Board members, in your packets, there are a number of things for your review. I would call your attention to the signed voluntary surrender of her license. We also have the potential to look to potentially summarily suspend her license today. Dr. Gandhi, is she present with us, or do we need to hear from her today?
I do not see her in queue in a participant list, Madam Chair. And I think everything is pretty self-explanatory in the packet. And as you mentioned, we do have a consent agreement for voluntary surrender. And if we did summarily suspend her, we'd have a hearing, which ultimately would lead to the same outcome, revocation possibly.
Madam Chair, if I may, this is
Yes.
Seth Hargraves. Actually, on both items under Agenda 2, Meredith Colton and Christine Acosta, both of them were noticed for this meeting for possible summary suspension due to admitted diversion from their employer. After receiving notice of the possible summary suspension, both of them had contacted staff and have each signed a consent for voluntary surrender. The state would recommend that the board consider accepting the voluntary surrender in both cases to resolve the matters.
Thank you, Mr. Hargraves. That's very helpful. Board members, any discussion, or do we have a potential motion in place for the item for Meredith Colton, and then we'll take the other item?
I'll make a motion to accept the voluntary surrender.
Do I have a second?
I'm willing to, okay.
Who was the second on it?
That was
Dr.
me.
Dang.
Okay. All right. So we have a motion by Ms. Nair and a second by Mr. Dang. Dr. Gandhi, can you do a roll call, please?
Of course. Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Solari,
Aye.
Mr. Dang,
Aye.
Mr. Minkus,
Aye.
Mr. Leyva,
Aye.
Ms. Lehan,
I am recused from this item and item 3I as well, please.
thank you. That's 2I,
Correct, 2I and 3I.
okay. Thank you. Ms. Walmsley,
Aye.
Mr. Tong.
Aye.
Ms. Nair,
Aye.
Mr. Goodman is absent. Ayes have it, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Dr. Gandhi. Next up item is item 2II. This is the matter for Christine Mary Acosta, board case number 21-0517. Again, Mr. Hargraves suggested that the paperwork was in order, and the suggestion was to accept the voluntary surrender. Do I have a motion, or is there any further discussion?
I'm willing to make a motion, ma'am, to accept the consent agreement.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion by Mr. Solari and a second by Mr. Leyva. Any discussion? Dr. Gandhi, can you do a roll call, please?
Certainly. Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Solari,
Aye.
Mr. Dang,
Aye.
Mr. Minkus,
Aye.
Mr. Leyva,
Aye.
Ms. Lehan,
Aye.
Ms. Walmsley,
Aye.
Mr. Tong,
Aye.
Ms. Nair,
Aye.
and Mr. Goodman is absent. Ayes have it, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Dr. Gandhi. Jumping forward to item 4 per Dr. Gandhi's request. Board members, in your packet is the updated rulemaking that was approved by the governor's office regarding technician scope. Dr. Gandhi, I believe I'm in order to say that the governor's office has approved the rulemaking. We've received several comments, primarily in support. There was one comment with some concerns. All of those items, in my opinion, we discussed during the task force and during our initial conversations regarding the rule. The governor's office did allow us to send this over to GERC, so it is now pending GERC review and hearing for that. Anything additional there, Dr. Gandhi, that I'm forgetting?
No, I think you framed it quite well, Madam Chair.
So board members, any discussion, or do we have a motion to go ahead and move forward with this as planned?
I'll make a motion to move forward as planned. The rules.
Second.
Dr. Gandhi, do you need to send it to GERC as the official motion?
That is
good.
normal process of rulemaking. So no, I think if you've addressed that concern that's in your packet and you're not taking any action on it, that should be part of the motion, that you're not taking action on the concern, and then direct us to forward it to GERC.
Okay, I can amend that. We take no action on the oppositions that were noted and move forward with going to GERC for the rule making.
Thank
I'll
you,
second.
Mayor. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
And just so that we can be clear, and the reason for not taking action on the objection is because those issues had previously been discussed in prior meetings and addressed. Is that correct?
Correct. Thank you.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Very well, thank you. That brings us back to item 3 on the agenda. Dr. Gandhi, do we have the parties present?
We do, Madam Chair. I believe we have Ms. Esther Hill's attorney on the line, Ms. Brown.
Very good, and we have Ms. Cody, I see as well. So this is the time set forth for the consideration of the respondent's settlement proposal in case number 21F-21-0451 PHB for Esther Hio. If the parties are present, can you please come forward and introduce yourself for the record?
Seth Hargraves, Assistant Attorney General on behalf of the state.
Ms. Hio, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, hello, I'm Esther here.
Hello, welcome. And I believe you're represented by an attorney today.
Yes,
That's Ms. Brown. Ms. Brown, can you introduce yourself, please?
Doesn't look like Ms. Brown has her audio connected to the meeting.
Do we want to pause for a moment?
Yes, I can send Ms. Brown a dialing number if she has a phone for the meeting. Just give me a second
Okay.
here.
Yeah, sure.
Posing a little difficulty. Ms. Brown, if you can hear me, can you just nod your head and I can tell you the phone number to dial into. It is area code 346-248-7799. And then the passcode is 706-064-04.
I don't know if she can hear you.
Didn't look like she was acknowledging that she could.
Okay, Ms. Brown, are you able to hear me? Let me see if I can give her a call.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Linda, this is Cam Gandhi calling from the board office. Madam Chair, I was able to reach Ms. Brown. She's dialing in as we speak. I'll keep an
Okay.
eye out for her.
Thank you.
I also just emailed her that information, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Dr. Gandhi.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Brown.
Okay, I apologize. Yeah, this is my first Zoom here on this phone. So I'm not sure what I missed, and I do apologize for holding up because I know your time is valuable.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. This is Lori Wamsley. I'm chair of the board. So we were just doing introductions. Can you just please introduce yourself for the record, and then we're going to move forward from there.
Okay, my name is Linda Marie Brown, and I am the attorney representing the respondent in this matter.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. The board will now hear presentations and argument from the parties on the respondent settlement proposal. As the party making a proposal, the respondent shall go first. The state will then have the opportunity to respond, and the respondent will be given time for a brief rebuttal. Ms. Brown, would you like to proceed with your presentation of what of your settlement request?
Sure. Okay, so in review of the complaint and notice of hearing, the factual allegations point to ARS Title 32-1901.01B2, which is violating a formal order, terms of probation, a consent agreement, or stipulation. In the order, it seems as though the concern was that the respondent had failed to timely complete the psychological evaluation. The respondent is cooperative and is hoping that the board will reconsider her completing the psychological evaluation. She has retained psychological services with BASHAH psychological services, and she did schedule to be evaluated by this psychologist on November 8th. And, she's willing to invest. It is quite costly, but she, her name, the psychologist is Emily Basha. And, I know that there's concern also, and I'm going to bring in the Facebook concerns. I looked at state's exhibits, and what's ironic is that on PHR 079 and 080, that was in April 22, I actually liked Dr. RxHEO's post that were streaming under the CDC and President Joe Biden. And, based on the other documents she provided, it seems as though she was advocating. And it's just odd that I had never met this woman until just within the last few weeks. I know that there's a lot of fuzzy information out there as to who she was engaging with. I know that it doesn't seem so far-fetched because President Trump, showed us that he was really involved with social media. Social media can either be the life of you or the death of you. The respondent is aware, has pulled down her sites, and is willing to do whatever is needed to comply with the board's demands, and additionally, she does have a psychiatrist. She did visit with him, and we were planning to disclose those records once we obtained the psychological evaluation from Dr. Emily Basha. But, she is taking medication, and it's a stimulant and to help her with focus. She's hyper.
Ms. Brown, I just want to caution you that we shouldn't be discussing her medical conditions in the public session. So if we need to get into her medical medical information or any type of HIPAA information,
Okay,
we do have the option to go to executive session to talk about those things in a private forum.
all right, thank you. I wasn't aware that we were in a public forum. I thought we were a private session. All right, so outside of that, the respondent, is invested. She spent 3 years in pharmacy school. She was almost through completing her 2016 5-year term. And then, like I said, I saw these posts and I was surprised that it's liked as you. And so somewhere she was streaming and reaching different forums and different people. And so perhaps it went a little overboard, but respondent is willing to meet the board's demands, to comply with the psychological services. And, and also, we're wondering if there's like vocation rehabilitation, and I don't would have to go into executive service session because there are concerns that I would like to talk to the board about. And so, it is the respondent's request that the board allow her additional time to complete the psychological evaluation, to reconvene after you've received a copy of those results, and then make a determination at that point, whether or not, based on that opinion, respondent is fit. The complaint doesn't really talk about unfitness other than that she violated the formal order, the terms of probation. And I know that the interim order references other concerns, but as I indicated, respondent is willing to do anything, to bring herself back into the good graces of the board so that she can continue. There was some question as to whether or not she had offers of employment, and she did provide me with offer letters that were dated way back before she started working for her current employer. And so at this time, it is our hope that the board will reconsider and we can set up another conference after BASH's Psychological Services discloses their findings from the November 8th evaluation that is scheduled. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. Mr. Hargraves?
Yes, thank you. Certainly it is up to the board whether or not you want to accept their proposal. I would like to point out that this all started due to an allegation from PAPA that she was non-compliant with her PAPA agreement, and which would also constitute non-compliance with the terms of the board's probation. Part of the issue there was concerns about her mental health, and there were specifics that were discussed. All the specific details were not put into the notice of hearing to protect privacy interests. The main issue is this board had severe concerns about her mental health, which is why you requested the interim order. And there was a specific date. It was extended due to difficulty scheduling. That interim order had specific requirements, including waiver to allow communication between the board and the evaluator. The evaluator had to be pre-approved. That was done. Part of the issues that the evaluator was looking at had to do with the Facebook posts. Staff did provide some information to the evaluator. When Ms. Hio showed up, the fact that the evaluator had some information made her cancel the appointment and leave. Now, certainly if the board wants to go forward and allow her further, again, that is the board's prerogative. The state does have concerns. First of all, there are posts that she has made in the past about her plans to try to mislead the evaluator. Specific posts when she acknowledged that the evaluator would have information regarding her Facebook posts, and she even noted that the evaluator may be looking at her Facebook account. When she was getting ready to possibly go for the evaluation. I believe she made comments on her post about, a great idea that her father had that she was going to follow through. And it is just to claim all of this was false. People were, making things up, tricking her. And that's the only loophole she could see to get out of this mess. Thereafter, she again tried to manipulate board staff. She was posting online that what she'll do to get her license or keep her license is she's going to claim she has schizophrenia, say that she'll go and get treatment for that. And also in the same statement, she's posting that I don't really have it, but that's the only way I can see to try to keep my license. She then followed up, sent Deputy Director Kianavong an indication saying, I'm signing up for counseling, getting treatment for schizophrenia. Following up on her plans to kind of mislead the board, which she acknowledged she doesn't have it, but this is what she needs to do to get her license back. And it's not just concerns about her advocacy. There were posts that she was posting that gave real concerns about her mental health. She was posting how she was President Biden's mistress, how she would stay up late at night watching pornography with the president, how she was Bill Gates's girlfriend, how Bill Gates had installed cameras into her house to watch her pleasure herself. Several bizarre comments that she believes are true, which raise serious questions about her mental health. None of that is being brought up. And the belief is that she wasn't sure what the evaluator knew. So it's tough to mislead the evaluator when she doesn't know what she can lie about because she doesn't know what the evaluator has for information. At this point, there is, she had an opportunity for an evaluation. There were serious concerns. If the board still has those concerns, if you feel that allowing her to go through another evaluation with somebody else is appropriate, you can certainly go down that route. However, I believe that she has shown through her posts that, she's not taking this serious. This is all just a means to keep her license, and she's not taking it seriously. And as far as whether or not she has canceled all activity on Facebook, if that's their claim, so be it. I haven't heard that from Ms. Hio. Certainly if she's misrepresenting that, that would be a further violation of your statutes. I'll just leave it at that for right now.
Thank you, Mr. Hargraves. Ms. Brown, do you have a brief rebuttal?
Yes, I do. It seems like Facebook, again, is either the death or the life of some people. And, it is possible that Ms. Hio was engaging with someone who she thought was the president, who may have been disguising, their identity. I don't know what Facebook's protocol is, if anyone can go in and just set up a page, or if you're purporting to be the White House or President Joe Biden, if there's an additional level in order to open that page. So no one's to say that, whether she has a camera in her laptop. We've heard odd stories where people have spied on high school students, and viewed inappropriate, because they left their camera on. So I think, perhaps that some of this is being taken out of context. My client wants to be transparent, doesn't deny, any of the Facebook posts, that were there. But again, it started off as a good thing, and it just went down a rabbit hole. And, I don't know if anyone has inquired with her employer to see whether or not she is in fact a risk to the public. From what I've been told that, I think that I need to get a letter from her employer as to her job performance as a pharmacist and whether she was making errors or she had to be reprimanded or any warnings. Outside of this crazy thing called social media, professionally, was she appropriate at work? What was did she discuss anything in that scenario? It is where I think, where the public would be at risk. Given that she's shut down this Facebook and understands that it's more of a problem. And, like I said, it seemed as though it was a good thing because there were people that were liking her post, and she was streaming and commenting to CDC posts, and, as well as another one through, actually, it was called President Joe Biden. And so, respondent would like to follow through, with, and then more. I mean, this additional, what kind of monitoring, would the board be looking at? I mean, I get schizophrenia, and I get that it shouldn't disable someone, as long as there's medication management and they manage that. I know people that have been diagnosed and they're able to perform electrical services, which would be even a greater risk if, they wired something wrong. I get that, we certainly wouldn't want someone filling a prescription with the wrong dosage that, could put somebody at risk. But I don't know if that has been done, to really just pull somebody's license and their livelihood that they had worked over the last 8 years to achieve, especially when, the party is willing to be compliant, recognizes the severity of the board's concerns, and is willing to put that to rest and move forward to do and focus only on her career as a pharmacist. So again, we are hoping that the board will reconsider, allow her to move forward with her psychological evaluation, and allow us more time, to inquire with her performance as a pharmacist, which would be telling. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. Having reviewed the information submitted by the parties and heard the presentation and the argument of the parties, the board will now deliberate. There will
Madam
be,
Chair,
yes,
may I just add something else?
sure.
Okay,
Is that, actually, is that in order, Ms. Cody?
Yes, absolutely. Each
Okay.
party can say what they would
Okay,
like.
okay, thank you.
There were also representations made once again that Ms. Hio has shut down all her accounts. Can we get verification of what accounts those are? It is my understanding that she has a ghost account that she's been still utilizing up until today. Maybe her attorney is not aware of that one, but can we just get verification that she's closed down all her accounts, including her secret ones?
Ms. Hio, we can't hear you if you're speaking.
Sorry. Yes, I am done, and I don't even know how the Attorney General would know about any ghost accounts, but I'm done with Facebook completely today, and I will no longer be using it anymore. I realize the situation has, again, derailed into a disaster, and I just want to be done with social media and move on with my life. This thing was to advocate COVID vaccine, and it just turned into a disaster. And to be here after working so hard, yeah, I just want to move on with my life. But again, I'm a little confused on a ghost account and even how the Attorney General would even suggest that. There is something I can ask. I didn't want to bring it up, but the Attorney General did contact me on Facebook, and I have a picture and photo of him.
Ms. Hio, let's bring this back to the question at hand. Mr. Hargraves asked a very specific question. I think we've gotten that answer. Mr. Hargraves, anything additional?
She says that was done as of today. That account has been active as this meeting has been going on. It is now taken down. So I think it's somewhat misleading to say that she has ceased all this when, as of today, it's still going on. and she's not denying that she has a secret account.
I'm a little,
And actually in that secret account, she indicated she was going to open up a third secret account. So I'm not sure how the board can really trust anything that's being represented.
I'm a little confused on where you even got this allegation.
Ms. Keo, the matter before us really is, and Dr. Gandhi, please jump in here. The matter before us is Ms. Keo's conduct and not complying with the order for an evaluation. We're not debating the Facebook accounts or any of those kinds of things. We've given Ms. Keo an order to comply with that she has not complied with, and that's the matter before us today. Not deliberating what is on Facebook, what accounts she has, any of those other kinds of things. Dr. Gandhi, anything to add there?
No, you're absolutely correct. And from Ms. Brown's testimony and what she's addressed before the board, it seems like Ms. Heo has an appointment on November 8th with Dr. Basha. Just for the record, this is the first time that I've heard of Dr. Basha, so it hasn't been properly vetted by us either that she's going to be evaluated by this doctor. So again, there's a lot of lack of communication with the board on her intent of getting evaluated prior to the hearing that was to be scheduled, that is now scheduled for January 3rd, I believe.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Earlier in Ms. Brown's comments, she said that there was something with medical information that she'd like to talk about. Would it be appropriate to go into a executive session with Ms. Brown so she can talk freely about that confidentially?
Ms. Brown, just to clarify, that what you wanted to talk to us about is only HIPAA information, right?
Excuse me?
What you wanted to discuss in executive session was related to to Ms. Heo's medical condition,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Ms. Cody, is that an appropriate action for us to take at this time if we make a motion to go into executive session to hear that?
Well, I guess I want to take a step back and address to where we are procedurally, which you had just mentioned, Chair Walmsley. This matter was set for a hearing for the sole purpose of determining whether the respondent complied with a board order. So I know that the respondent and her attorney, they have read the complaint and notice of hearing. So I guess I would have a question for Ms. Brown, whether the state's factual allegations and alleged violations of law are in dispute, or if they are stipulating that those are true.
Well, actually, we are denying. I did enter a response to the complaint, and there are some of the factual allegations that are being denied, only because it appears that some of them are out of context.
Okay, no, I appreciate that. I'm just trying to reorient us. And then my second question to you, Ms. Brown, is I don't really understand your settlement proposal. You're asking for more time. Do you have more specific request of the board? It's not really a proposal that they could vote upon. More time is very vague.
Okay, thank you. I know that there was concern as to the PAPA agreement, and that there was specifics stating that that she responded, was not compliant. We are asking to have that agreement extended, and then obtain the psychological evaluation, and work toward getting her reinstated, so that she can get back to work. And so, at this point, we're asking that suspension be lifted. And my client is willing to enter into any kind of monitoring program and to be compliant. I guess this was like the kind of wake up call to the severe nature of, what social media can do. And so I understand that her mental health is concerning. And so she's, seeking to show that she's stable, and that the public would not be at risk. Does that answer your question?
No, I mean, could you summarize what your offer to settle is at this time that would allow the board to deliberate and consider whether they should withdraw this matter from the hearing scheduled before the Office of Administrative Hearing? So could you summarize the terms of your settlement offer?
Okay, so the respondent is seeking, to obtain a psychological evaluation on November 8th and disclose that. To continue to work with her doctors and to be transparent about that as well with the board. To also enter additional programs that would, similar to the letter that stated what she would do to comply with PAPA. And that we would ask that to be for a 2-year period. Provided that she was compliant, that she would show compliance with her doctors, consistency with her doctors. That, I know it's social media can be an addiction. And that, she back off of that and just focus on her job and her health and being transparent with the board and to, withdraw the notice of hearing so that you can continue to further assess. As I indicated, even her employer really hasn't weighed in. This is based solely on non-compliance to getting the psychological evaluation done. I know she's guarded. Most people are guarded. I mean, this is serious. Nobody wants to talk about their mental health. They see it as a negative. And so, I think she's becoming more accepting that, her condition may be like diabetes and she needs to continue to address it. And it's a lifetime. We had that discussion. And so with the board's, oversight, hopefully we can, rehabilitate vocationally so that the years invested don't go down the drain. So I don't know if that is, it's probably not really clear. I have, I'm looking at the PAPA agreement.
Madam Chair, if I may, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Obviously, when we were made aware of this situation, we did give ample opportunity for Ms. Hio. And our goal at the end of the day is to help pharmacists, technicians, anybody under our umbrella to get assistance when it's needed. And I believe we gave Ms. Hio an ample opportunity to seek that. That is one of the reasons the board issued an order prior to even suspending her or taking action against her license to get a fair assessment of Ms. Hio's state of mind. But being guarded or whatever it may be, at the end of the day, we didn't get the answer we wanted, and therefore we didn't have any other option but to seek the summary suspension and then pursue a hearing. So again, the matter before us is pertaining to failure to comply with that order. And again, referencing back to Dr. Bashis, we have no idea who Dr. Bashis is, credentials. They don't have the information that we have to share with them so they can make an evaluation that's all encompassing for board review. And it's already scheduled for November 8th. So I'm not sure what Ms. Brown is. It's coming off a little bit interesting. I'm trying to piece the puzzle together as she's trying to put it together for me. But the bottom line is Ms. Hio violated an order, and that's why we're here.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
Ms. Cody, is there a reason to go into executive session and hear the information that Ms. Brown says is confidential?
I think that would be at the discretion of the board. If board members feel that would assist in their decision on whether to accept this settlement offer, you could deliberate and vote on that. But I also think out of the, the true procedure of a settlement conference, we have more details now on the settlement that respondent is seeking. I think Chair Walmsley, at your discretion, you might want to offer the state's attorney if he has any comments on that additional information provided for the settlement offer.
And quite honestly, I can't follow the settlement offer. It was long and there's nothing in writing, and I can't follow it at this point.
I agree with you. I don't even know what is truly being proposed.
I also don't think that hearing about confidential medical information is going to help me better understand not following the board order.
And if I may,
Sure.
I'll be brief. I'm looking at the interim order. It was issued September 30th. We're 30 days out. It's not, though, this has been dragging on. In a nutshell, we're asking for respondent to be given the opportunity to maintain her license. Based on terms set forth by the board, what they would feel comfortable with in monitoring and to ensure that she's compliant with the contract similar to that was issued under the PAPA. And we do apologize, Dr. Basha, this was just recently scheduled. And so we just obtained this information the other day, as to finding a doctor who would be able to provide an evaluation in a timely manner in preparation for the January 3rd hearing. Thank you.
Mr. Hargraves,
Madam Chair.
do you have any follow-up questions?
It's a little confusing. They recently scheduled an evaluation that could be done by November 8th, but they couldn't timely get the initial evaluation scheduled by the interim order, and that had to be extended.
Yes,
That's very confusing to me.
I can explain that. So you guys gave me a approved list of people to contact. I contacted all of them and left voicemails about 3 to 4 times on each number and got one call back from somebody, and their opening was 2.5 months away. And that was for the approved list that you guys gave me. What I did in this case was go on the American Psychological Association, went through all the psychologists in Arizona who do fitness of duty and called all of them to set up a new fitness of duty evaluation. This lady, I didn't know, the pharmacy board didn't know her, but she's approved by the Board of Nursing to do fitness of duty. So I asked for her to give me the earliest date. She is twice double the amount of pay compared to the other people that I've been trying to get a hold of. The other people, almost everyone that I tried calling had a waiting list, and she was the only one available. And she is open to pushing back my date a week or so she can get all the information and get approved by the Board of Pharmacy. So she is willing to work with the board. She wants all the information, and I just wanted to try again.
Thank you, Ms. Heo. Mr. Hargraves, anything further?
The only thing my question would be, initially she talked about rescheduling with the evaluator that she had previously found that the board had approved. I'm curious why she wouldn't follow up with that. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, and I think from reading it, there may have been a disconnect there. So I think that's probably why she didn't want to follow through with that one.
Ms. Cody, can you direct me where we should go next in terms of procedurally?
And at this point, if any of the board members would have any further questions for respondent's attorney, or Mr. Hargraves, they could certainly pose those questions. If not, could deliberate on the proposed settlement. If you feel you need further legal advice from me, board members could vote to go into executive session. So kind of in that order. If anyone else has any questions, if not, could make a motion. If you need additional legal advice on that motion, we could go into executive session is the way I see our procedure being right now.
Thank you, Ms. Cody. Board members, any additional questions for Mr. Hargraves or the respondents? Board members, does anyone care to receive legal advice in executive session? Hearing none, do I have any discussion on the potential settlement agreement?
I just want to make clear our options are to approve their proposal, proceed with hearing.
Or proceed with hearing?
Yeah, either or, sorry, yes, that's what I meant. Those are our two options right now.
Legally, there's a third option. If the board feels there's an option that has not been proposed by respondent, a board member could propose that. So it would be approve the proposed settlement, reject the proposed settlement and proceed to hearing, or come up with a new settlement that the board members would agree upon. Would be the three options right now.
Madam Chair, make a motion for legal advice.
Executive session for legal advice?
Yes.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Okay.
Ms.
Crystal,
Brown,
I'm sorry, Madam Chair. Crystal, when you move to executive session, set and the respondents should not go.
Got it.
Ms. Hio, Ms. Brown, we will be back with you shortly.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, before you start the meeting back up, I have to step away. I have another meeting with the Auditor General. Jennifer Kay will be on in case you need to pick board staff's brain for something.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Gandhi. All right, looks like we've got everybody back. Board members, any additional questions for Mr. Hargraves or the respondents? Or do we have some, are we ready for discussion?
Can we make a motion at this point?
Yes, you may.
Make a motion that we reject their offer and this goes to formal hearing.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Minkus and a second by Ms. Snare. Board members, any discussion?
I just wanted to clarify that by formal hearing, Mr. Minkus refers to the administrative law judge that is already scheduled.
Correct.
Thank you, Mr. Solari, for that clarification. Board members, any additional discussion? Jennifer, can you do a roll call, please?
Certainly. Ms. Walmsley,
Aye.
Ms. Snare,
Aye.
Mr. Leyba,
Aye.
Mr. Dang,
Aye.
Mr. Goodman is absent. Ms. Lehan is recused. Ms. Minkus, I'm sorry, Mr. Minkus,
Aye.
Mr. Solari,
Aye.
Mr. Tong.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Thank you, Jennifer. Ms. Hio, Ms. Brown, thank you for your attendance today. We appreciate your participation. That takes us to the end of our agenda today. I don't believe we have a call to the public on the agenda. Is that correct, Jennifer?
That is correct.
Okay. So at this point, we'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting at 2:05. Thank you all for your attendance today, and we will see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Aye.